This week at JTV, we're going to kick back a little bit and make this beautiful wind swirl arrangement. It's unique and it's creative and contemporary, and it only takes a few flowers. With the secrets you're going to learn here, we can sit back a little bit and enjoy together having a little bit of fun with flowers. Let's get started with today's project. When we're going to create a wind swirl, we need to have proper container selection. Today, we're going to use this great bias bowl. Kind of looks like a 70s chair. Sit back in there with the little speakers in there. But it's going to be fun for the wind swirl because it's contained somewhat. Now, you could use a bubble bowl like this. You know, you could even use this bowl over here. This guy would work well too, because we're able to have a circular form and we're able to enclose it a little bit. So, when you decide which one you want, that's kind of what's going to dictate how this goes together. It's one of the arrangements where the container itself helps us be creative. So in this case, we're going to use the bias bowl and we're going to build a base again. We talk a lot about armatures and how important pieces of wire and things that hold flowers have become in today's design style. And that's what we're doing today is we're going to create a circular form that's going to go around the inside of the bowl and hold our flowers in place. So we use a little bit of aluminum wire to start with. This is just a short piece of red that I had. And again, that circular form, we're going to tuck it inside. We can bend it a little bit so that we get a little bit of interest going on inside the bowl so that it's not perfectly round. Although that would be cool too, so you get to be as creative as you want. We're also going to add this product. It's called vase jewelry. Kind of sounds like bells, doesn't it? But it starts to help us form that nested area inside there where we're going to have our flowers. Now, let's add a little bit of our metallic wire. We're going to feed off probably, let's say 5 or 6 yards. We're also going to place that inside. And also a little bit of our bullion. We'll maybe take 10 or 12 yards of that. You notice that I used all red, but my vase jewelry has a little bit of gold wire on there. That adds a little bit of extra reflective quality, and it's a contrast to the others. So it's going to make it stand out a little bit more and add a little more excitement. So that's going to be our armature, and our flowers are going to go inside there. The other thing we need is a little bit of grounding to happen inside this bowl. So we're going to use some of the new designer stones that are from Pick. This one's called Red Flare. One whole bag. Looks like it does the trick pretty well. Now notice how we moved our other pieces up off of the base of those rocks too, so that they aren't buried underneath and we can still visually see them. The next thing that we're going to do, we're going to add a stringer of makara red orchids from Amy's Orchids. This is a great little double stringer that they create for us, and she'll create them any length you want so they can be custom made. But this one, we're going to go right around the edge from the front of our arrangement and tuck it up under our wire on the back. Trim off our little extra tie there. Now notice how that's starting to form that circular motion. One of the things about a wind swirl is that we're going to have circular motion that's going to go on inside this. And that's going to be added with our floral and our foliage content. Flowers come first, foliage comes last. Lily grass is important to this. You could also use bear grass, but that's going to be our little added extra at the end that's going to make this look like it took us a really long time. So with that, let's add a little bit of water. Think about the fact that you could do this with permanent botanicals too. Then you wouldn't need to have water inside here, and it could be all stones and all types of beads, and it could be something that you permanently could have on display. Or you could keep the container with just the wire and the rocks in it and add a few flowers every week and have something really fun that maybe changes and gets a little more exciting. So the flowers I want to use today, first of all, I'm going to use a couple of Gerber daisies. And the other one is a cool new flower called ranuncula. It's another one of the new additions to the Euphoria farms. Look at this. I helped them select this last year in Amsterdam when we went to look at the rose breeders. It's a completely different type of rose that actually looks as if it's a ranuncula. As these roses open up even further, there's a wonderful little green center that comes out that almost looks like a little alien. But I love these because, number one, they're so unusual looking, and at the same time, they last a really long time. So this is something different, one of those new things that you get to see here on JTV first. So we'll select a couple of these guys to use. I also like that sometimes they can be really variegated. So you'll notice that our floral content's pretty simple. We've got 3 types of flowers, and we're going to use those together. Now, first of all, we're going to work with this Gerber daisy, and again, it bends very nicely. We can sometimes take our hand and gently rub it down a stem, applying just a little bit of pressure to start to give it a natural curve like that. We're going to want to make sure that it gets into our water supply and then bends around the inside of our bowl. We'll tuck it behind our orchids right here. Then another one. This one I'm actually going to make a little bit shorter. Again, we'll just gently massage that stem with our hand. Stick that guy in there. Actually, you know what? I like it better up here. So that we start to have the repeat of those 2 up there. It'll be better to put our ranunculus down there. That's the cool thing. When you're designing with flowers, I want you sometimes to take time when you're making something really creative to decide where the best placement is. I know that sometimes we hurry with whatever we do. It's rushing to get the kids to school, or it's rushing to do something else. When we want to sit back and do flowers, it's kind of our own private time. And it's a time for us to be creative and kind of enjoy the cool things we're working with. So we'll use some of the ranuncula, and we're cutting them very short. The cool thing about using them that short is they're going to last even longer because they don't have to hydrate all the stem either. We're going to use another one, kind of long. We're going to place him right on top of those other wires. Look at how incredible that foliage is too. The foliage is really a beautiful part of the flower itself too, and because there's no damage to it and it's absolutely gorgeous, we can use that as part of our design. We're going to do one more right there. So now we start to have our flowers traveling this direction around our bias container. Now think about for a second, if you were creating it in a little bubble bowl, you might use calla lilies or shorter flowers and have them go all the way around, almost like a nest. So there's a couple different ways to look at this. Now we're going to add our lily grass. And this is the portion where lilygrass makes us look like we spent tons of time on this. So it's a secret that you learn right here at JTV. Lilygrass has the natural flow and the natural form. And it's starting to create that wonderful line inside our arrangement. The natural form of that lilygrass, see how it just curves? It's naturally that same shape. So just by feeding it into the design, we're able to loop it and lace it over the top. Again, massaging them with our hands, just like we did the flowers, we can create something that has a great curl to it. The other thing that I can do with this is run it over the front of the arrangement. By using a long piece, I can come in on one side and tuck it all the way in across so that we start to get it enclosing the front of that bias container. Again, we want it to be kind of random, so it looks like we didn't do it on purpose. So every once in a while, I'll come back and do one backwards. Now let's have some crossing lines in this too, because we've got a lot of lines that are going straight across the front. So let's bring one up over the top and catch it underneath the other ones. And I think maybe one more ought to do it for us. This one, I'm going to just kind of weave in and out through the other pieces of lilygrass. We'll kind of push everybody into shape. I've got a little bit of this, and I saved it for last because I didn't want it to get lost. I don't need the whole thing because it's a pretty busy beaded garland at the same time. There's a lot of texture and a lot of things going on. So we're simply going to tuck that on our edge. And we'll add just a little bit of bullion over the top too, because I want to make it all seem to fit together and all seem very intricate. It's one of the things that the European designers have done for years is make things look like they're very intricate and very detailed. But you're seeing how easy it was for us to create this in almost 10 minutes. But it looks really wonderful. And just a little bit of the metallic wire. Now that's pretty incredible. Think of how impressed your friends would be if they're sitting down to a dinner table with you and you created something like this. Oh, it was something I just whipped up this afternoon. But you know what? From the secrets that we do together, that makes us incredible floral designers. And it's so fun to learn how to do cool things like this. I hope you enjoyed learning about the Wind-Swirl today. You saw how easy it was, and it makes you look like a creative floral design genius. The holidays are upon us, and there's very little time to do things. But the easy secrets that you learn here at JTV, you can whip something up like this in minutes and put it on your table and look wonderful. And feel good about it too. Remember to take the time to enjoy flowers and have fun with them.